Good morning, retail traders. What a great weekend it was. A little nippy here in Missouri, but we're going to talk about the indices. This is earnings week. We had a real good run on Friday, so I expect us to consolidate with irrational exuberance. And we're going to just kind of look at the indices, see if we can find a solid support and go from there. That's the wrong one. I don't want to use that chart. I want to use the TTM squeeze chart that I use. It's more colorful to me. So we had a real nice run on Friday. We had hard sell-off for the first couple of days of the week. It was a short week last week, and we've got 5 days of trading. Earnings are coming out, and we're going to start off with the SPY. So here on the SPY, we could find a little support level here on the 20-day, 1 hour time frame is what I'm going to use. And there's a pivot point area. If we do pull back this week, somewhere right around in this area right in here, but we'll call it down at last week's low, right around 387.68. And I'm going to put the price line in here. I used to call it a trend line. Some guy would say, that's a price level. I said, okay. So right there, right around the 387.81 is going to be your low support. That'll be a triple bottom off that wick. But I'm not counting that candle right there. I'm counting this one right here that we had on Thursday. Had a pretty good hard sell-off Tuesday and Thursday, and then we started bouncing back up. So today's resistance to break is going to be the double top right here, right around 396.30. And then the double, here we go to the 20-day, and you had this little run up. So the next resistance is going to be right around 398.26. And if we can make it to 400 this week, we'll definitely run up higher. But I think we need to be a little patient, let the earnings come out. We still got the Feds, but it's a quiet week for them. They're going to come out on the 31st, start blabbing their mouths off. So I think we're going to consolidate to the right, definitely. That's going to be your low support right there. And we got 3 black crows right here. So we're going to take it to the bottom of that crow. And if we can hold 391.88, we'll still be bullish. I'll turn that into a red line. Whoops, I don't want to do that. What did I say? This one right here. Yeah. 391.88, 392 area. That'll keep us bullish for the week. And that's the SPY. The SPX. I really don't know what it's going to do until the market opens. But we're going to use the 20-day, 1 hour time frame again. We got the 200 here as a pivot point on the 20-day for a low support. So if it pulls back on the hour time frame to the 200, we'll still be game to take it sideways, create a little Darvas box to the side. Today's resistance, or this week's resistance to break, will be 4,009 with 17 cents following it. Then we've got a support level right here, which is the pivot point in the Darvas box, right around 39.4693. And then we got a triple bottom down here at support, which is the 20-day pivot point at 338.88.19. And that should hold that 200 SMA this week. Next one we're going to talk about is going to be the QQQ. 20-day, we've got a support level here, pivot point, right here at 275.06 to hold, with a double top, triple top resistance to break at 283.79. There's a pivot point inside of this, but the 20-day, 1 hour pivot point is 275. Use the moving averages as support levels if I have to on the 1 hour time frame. And we've got 277.99 for your first support, or your second, and then somewhere right in here for your first, which is right around the 280.97. That's the QQQ. So we got a low support pivot point on the 1 hour time frame at 275.06 with a resistance to break of 283.79. And we'll use the 65 as a pivot point. See if we can hold that 65 EMA. And that'll be right around the 280 area. If we bounce off that, that'll be magnificent. And then we've got the IWM. I like the QQQ so far this year. And the IWM. Bouncing off the 200 here last week. We're going to still use that as a time frame for a support. We do have had a real good run on the IWM. Real good run. I really like that run we've had there. I mean, the low support's way down here at 176. I can't see it getting that low. So we're going to mark it right here on this previous high. Right there at 178. No lower than that to keep the thing bullish. If we stay above the 200 SMA on the 1 hour time frame, we can bounce up, try to find some resistance up here. Let me delete this out of the way. Remove note. Remove and remove. With a double top resistance on a 20-day at 188.44. So 188.13, 188.44 with a support level rated open at, which ain't much, 184.13, and try to keep it above that 200 SMA on the 1 hour time frame. We're going to have some earnings this week that I'm going to be watching, and it's going to be Johnson & Johnson. The CEO will come out, I think today or tomorrow. Earnings are coming out tomorrow, so it might be today on CNBC. I'll just kind of run through these. On the 20-day, Johnson & Johnson's had a pretty good hard sell-off. So I think if we break this here moving average of the 65, we can move up higher and find some resistance right around 172.40 and hold support right at 167.70. That's Johnson & Johnson. Verizon's coming out. We got Microsoft coming out. Earnings this week. It had a nice irrational exuberance on Friday. If it can hold the pivot point on the 20-day 1 hour at 231, we'll be doing good. So I'm going to put a red line right there. And resistance to break is going to be right here at this top at 241.72. So that's going to be, a good one to watch. Microsoft, it likes to pull back and then bounce up pretty good. We had a real nice run here. We had a pullback on last week. Then we tried to regain resistance, and that's going to be 241.72 to break on the triple top 20-day, which is right around 245.65, 65 or 70. And then the next one I'll be watching we'll have Hall, HAL, 3M coming out. IBM's another good one that I traded last year and I made real good money on. Off of last earnings it had. It was real good earnings. We had a pullback last week. We're setting up in a symmetrical flag. So it's going to squeeze today, and a resistance to break on the 1 hour time frame will be the 200 SMA. The pivot point on the chart for this week will be right around 143.40. If we can break that, we'll move higher. Support no lower than this bottom right here to hold. I'd set you an alert right around 140. See if you can catch that move. If we come back and retest a double bottom and move up and try to break that pivot point on the 1 hour time frame, that's 143.40. This could go up higher. I really like IBM. I like it a lot. It done me well last year. We got JetBlue is another good one. We got Airlines coming out. AAL, JetBlue. Alaska Airlines will be out. So the airlines are going to be one to watch. We definitely had a real good run, straight run up on these here. We have a vertical snake. This could pull back. A little irrational move right there. If it holds the 758, I think that'll be a good place to take this trade off the 200 SMA. That'll move on you. So it could be somewhere in that vicinity. And that's going to be JetBlue with the resistance to break. If we do break the 875, we could take this up higher. Not much though. We got a yearly pivot point right around 941. So we're definitely at the 200 SMA on this one. I want to pay attention to the SPY again. I didn't bring this up earlier, but we did hit the 200, and the VIX is right around 20, which means a lot of fat cats will be a little bit more lenient and trying to run the stock up. So remember that. If we do break that 200, we can go higher, but we are on that 200 threshold with the VIX at 20. So just be a little patient this late. Let earnings do their thing. We got Tesla coming out. Now, Tesla's also had a real good, strong run. It's a tough one to trade. You've got the bulls and the bears that like to fight on this one here. I do have a resistance to break at 137.41 with a high of 145, 146. And we could hit the bottom of this channel. And if we hold 125, 123.19 for sure, bring us to the 1 hour time frame. And that's right there off that little pivot point area of 128.79. If we can hold that triple bottom on the vertical snake, we'll run it back up and try to hit this resistance up here at 143.34. And be careful. We've hit some resistance levels on Friday. We need to pull back and consolidate just a little bit. And that's the only thing I'm going to be watching this morning. I'm going to let the market dictate the way I trade today. I'm not going to try to jump in and be a full out bull. Remember, the SPY is definitely at the 200 SMA on the daily, and the VIX is at 20 or close to it. Everybody have a great day. Retail traders.